Hello, hello. It's time for the weekly live coaching, a few days later than our normal time. But that's what it is when it's Christmas and New Year and families and all of the things. So we're here, and I am super curious to hear about your Christmas and if things went according to plan and what actually happened. Tell me about all the things.
Absolutely. So I went completely off the rails. Um,
Uh-oh.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's pretty much been Friday to today. I've eaten whatever the hell I've wanted to. And yeah,
A
so
Friday before Christmas. Or
yes. So it's just been absolute free for all. And yeah, I mean, that's what happened.
okay, so let's talk about that then. What actually happened?
I think it was Friday after our session, and a thought got into my head that um, it was just I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something along the lines of you're just going to do whatever you want, and that thought really latched on, and so I just started my binge that night, and I just told myself I'll get back on track after the holidays, and I ended up staying at my family's house that we celebrated at for a few nights, so it was just everyone was just constantly eating, and I was just doing the same thing, and yeah, it just spiraled out of control.
Okay, so first of all, thought that I was gonna do whatever I want. I, was that really what you wanted?
Mm, I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I just had a lot of. I remember feeling extremely anxious. I felt like there was a geyser getting ready to explode within me, and
Hmm.
I guess that was just a really bad craving. And I just started building all this stuff up in my head, and I just once I started, I didn't stop. So I'm not sure. Um, I deep down, I know that's not what I wanted to do, but the addictive junkie part of me, which has a lot of sway, apparently, um,
You're
had a
like,
sway.
I'm a geyser that is gonna explode.
Yeah, just a lot of pressure, a lot of
Yeah.
So
So why didn't you choose to sit with that and just feel that?
I just didn't want to. I suppose I can't. I don't know the exact right answer.
There's
I
no right
just
answer. I'm just
yeah.
wondering why you didn't.
I guess I made a decision and I just went with it. I don't know. I just didn't want to do it.
Because it's super uncomfortable, probably.
Most likely, yeah.
But like the week before, you were 20 minutes in the gas station having a similar experience, I imagine.
Mm, yeah.
And you went in there with the purpose of, I'm going to do this. So, what's the difference between that experience and the experience you had with the Christmas food? Because you could
Well,
just
that
have
wasn't
said, I'm
even. It
going to
wasn't even.
feel crap as fuck and I'm just going to do it. I'm going to feel it.
It wasn't even the
And
Christmas food. It was the night before. I didn't. It wasn't even
yeah,
any type of Christmas stuff.
okay.
So I don't. It. Yeah, and it's strange because I had to. I had to wait for the food that I ordered, whereas in the gas station I could have just bought it right there. So it was like there was more the ability to transgress was that much easier in that occasion. So um, I guess where I had decided in my head that over the weekend I was going to do whatever I wanted, then that just bled over into, well, I might as well just do whatever I want right now. So it was the
Yeah,
gas
but you were
station. I feel
lying to
like,
yourself.
yeah, for sure. I think the gas station was more, there was no other thing that was coming in the future. This was just like an isolated event. And I was like, well, I can deal with this. Um, but Yeah, I just fell for some tricks, my own personal tricks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So it's kind of curious how you're like, I'm gonna do whatever I want right after we had talked, and
yeah,
you I gave you the option to plan. You were like, nope, don't want to do the planning. It's gonna be free for all or nothing. Okay.
right,
And then you decided nothing, and if I want something, then I'm gonna take that, put it in the freezer, and we're gonna do the exception challenge with that later on.
right. Yeah, that definitely
So
didn't happen at
something
all.
happened between there, probably like, shit, I've agreed to this and I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, probably a bit of that. Yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I can't really remember. It was a while back, and I should have taken more note of what happened, but
Yeah, and that's the trap. I mean, it's fine to when things happen, we can just learn from it. But if we choose to go unconscious when we're doing it, we're not going to be able to learn from it, and then we just stay trapped in this um, kind of loop that's going to repeat itself. Probably not every week, maybe not every month, but it's just going to keep coming back.
right,
So it's kind of important that we can figure out a little bit what's going on, and maybe this won't happen until the next big holiday with family, and maybe that's not until Christmas next year. I don't know, but it's still a thing that somehow you just went from, well, this is what I'm going to do, I have a plan, to I'm just going to do whatever I want until the holiday. So if we think about that thought, like, I'm just going to do whatever I want, how did you justify that to yourself? What were the excuses that you came up with?
um, I guess the main excuse is I'll get back on track eventually. Um, yeah, that was I didn't really put up much of a fight against myself. It was simply that was enough. That wasn't enough of a reason for me to just do that. I was like, well, I'll get back on the horse when I do. Probably said that once the new year comes, that'll be my resolution. Something stupid like that. Um, that was probably the biggest excuse.
Yeah. So it's not just you. Let's just put it
For
out there.
sure, I
Like,
know.
a
It's
lot of
definitely the
people are using
majority.
this excuse.
Yeah.
It's always like, I'll do it next year because, I need to eat over Christmas and New Year, or I'll do it after my birthday. I'll start Monday. I'll
Yeah.
do it on my holiday. Oh, I will do it after the
Procrastination.
holiday. All of that. It's just the same thing. But maybe it feels like, well, this family there, so it's kind of different. And we
Yeah.
use that as an excuse. But it's no different because you're still cheating yourself.
Hmm.
It's like you've gone through all of this. You've had this massive craving at the gas station, and you have lots of not maybe as massive ones at the gas station, and everywhere you go, you put in so much time and effort into learning this skill. And they're like, yeah, but I'm not going to practice it now.
Right. What's the
It's
point
not
in
like,
doing it at all if you're not going to practice it in super challenging situations? I mean,
yeah, I mean, your brain is correct. You can get back on track whenever you want to because you've practiced this skill. You know how to do it.
yeah.
That's the danger, that we know how to do it. And it's like, yeah, it's going to be easy. I can just go back to doing that. But this is so much bigger than that. It's like that future Jarod who's depending on you doing what he's done. It's like, that didn't go according to plan. And it's completely normal. But how could you, if this is happening again, like, how do you think that you could have done things differently?
Well, it's an interesting thing that you bring that up because the very same thing is getting ready to happen in like 2 days because I'm getting ready to go to California. I'm getting ready to go to the wedding. I know
Yeah.
that we're going to go eat at some very not schwanky, but I'm going to I think the rehearsal dinner is at a pretty nice restaurant and it's like open menu. And obviously there's a bunch of food at the wedding, and I came into this call thinking that I was going to tell you that I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do. I'm going to keep just binging until I get back from the wedding, which I'm ashamed to say that, but that's fully the mindset that I was coming into this call with. And as we talk, and I'm getting back more towards feeling what's the I'm getting more back to reality of what I'm really trying to do here. And that's sounding less and less appetizing to do, but at the same time I feel like I'm going to be very susceptible to just doing that.
Yeah, so the question then is, what do you want to do?
I know what one part of me wants to do.
That's the primitive part of the brain.
Reptile shit and past behavior shit.
Yeah.
And prior to yesterday, I was going to just, like, on, what was it? December 30. What, 30 days have September, April, June? Is 31 days in December? Can't even remember. It's been like 2
I think
days.
so.
Yeah.
No, it's
December 31st at like 10:30 p.m. I had my bowl of ice cream, millionth horrible thing for me that I've eaten that week. And I was getting ready to go to bed because I didn't really care about the ball drop or whatever. And I said, okay, that's it. So we're back on track, and let's just start strong. And everything was cool. And went all day, didn't eat anything, and then got through the night. And my coworker said one thing to me. He's like, "You're not going to start this week. You're just going to start next week. You're getting ready to go to the wedding. There's going to be all this wonderful food." And that just completely derailed me. Like, that one little thing that he said completely was just like, well, yeah, you're right. And then my mind immediately said, well, you've already fucked up for like this whole past week. What's a few more days going to do? You'll be right back. You can get right back to your training. I was even thinking of ways where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make up something. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is bad me. Horrible things. I was thinking, okay, I'll just make up some lie or something, and I'll just tell Pim that I'm really sick and I can't do the call this week, so I can just dodge this whole uncomfortable. I don't want to deal with talking to her about this stuff. I can just go on binging, and then when I get back, I can finally face the music and blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm just being completely honest, but I didn't do that. Obviously, because we're
that's
here.
good.
But yeah, so I had after work. I mean, at about 10:30 p.m. last night, it had been 24 hours since I had eaten anything. And we got off work and we were all just like, oh man, we're fucking hungry. Let's go to McDonald's. And we did. And I got a big fucking giant meal, just slob style. And yeah. So it's just, it's once again just making me feel like shit that I so easily just go back on my plans, go back on my goals, and how easy it is for me to just be swayed by such a small impetus against me.
Because your brain is looking for everything that it can hold on to that will help it do whatever it wants to do.
Right.
So if we can just drop the judgment about what you're doing and just see that this is like your brain think that this is the best thing ever for you to survive. And it will keep looking for that. And as long as you don't engage the prefrontal cortex, you're going to believe that part of the brain. Because it feels good, so it must be good.
Right.
So there's nothing doesn't mean that you're a bad person.
No,
It's
I
the
know.
same thing. You want to tell me that you're sick so that you don't have to show up for the call. It's because it's going to be uncomfortable. You're like, shit, I'm going to have to tell her all of these things. And I really don't want to talk about it because then I have to face it. It's better to just eat sloppy food. It's completely normal. I mean, the brain is working that way. And when we can be okay with that, the brain is going to try all this shit, but we don't have to listen to it. that's when you're going to feel a bit more relaxed about it. But right now, it's like you know that you're doing it and you're judging yourself for doing it. And then you're feeling a bit resistance to doing it, but you feel even more like resistance to even look at the alternative right now. Because there's a wedding, so there's no point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going into this with a mindset that I'm not going to be able to resist it, so I might as well just. My mind is saying resistance is futile. You already have too much bad momentum from this past binge. That's going to just carry over into this. It's going to give.
But
It's
there
going to
is
have.
no momentum. The only
Yeah,
thing
no,
there is a
that's just
decision.
what my mind's saying. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing you need to do is to decide that this is what I'm going to do and actually mean it when you decide it. Whichever way that is. Like, it doesn't matter really what you decide. But now it's like, well, I'm just going to listen to the primitive part of the brain. But you haven't even made the decision because you're feeling bad about what you're doing. If you had made a decision that this is what I'm going to do and felt good with that decision, you wouldn't sit there and agonizing about it. Does that make sense?
Kinda.
Kind. But not quite.
Not quite though. No.
So when you are making a decision, let's say, I was going to eat ice cream on New Year's Eve. That was my experiment. I made a decision I'm going to eat ice cream on New Year's Eve. I didn't feel bad about it.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't feel bad about it at all. It's an experiment. This is what I do. This is what has been decided ahead of time. And I know that I put sugar and crap in my body, which I don't really like, but I already made that decision and I'm at peace with that decision. Like my mind was set to, okay, this is what is happening. There's no drama, no nothing. It's just like, this is a fact. This is what we're going to do. And then I'm just going to go back to normal. And there's nothing wrong with that. You could make the decision now, hey, it's the new year. It's already the 2nd. I'm a little bit delayed, but I want to eat really well for a couple of days. Then at the wedding, I'm going to have dessert or wine or whatever you're going to have. And feel good about it. Like I'm just going to enjoy it. Not just go there and like stuff your face for the sake of it and then stuff your face all the way up until the wedding. I mean, you
Right.
can if you want to. But you can also choose to decide that the wedding is an occasion where I want to do this. Normal days, I do not want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know which one to do, honestly. My brain's still saying, just do what you want. Just eat everything within sight until you get back from that wedding. But I know deep down I don't want to do that. So
Okay,
I'm
so
just
why
stuck
don't you want to do it? Let's talk about that.
because I would like to just get back on track to just trying to heal and become better and change. And the more I delay it, the longer it's going to take.
Yeah.
Which is annoying because it's already taken up a decade plus of my life, probably more at this point.
Yep.
I'm trying to get over this hurdle.
What else?
Because it also seems like the more that I continue doing bad habits, that it kind of puts me on hold from doing other good habits that I want to do. So that's just delaying all the other types of self-development as well. And I typically don't. If I'm engaging in a bad habit, I don't typically. I just kind of drop all the other good stuff off too. So that's a pattern that I'm trying to get away from. And
So if you could do some self-development or other good habits, but continue eating whatever you want to eat until the wedding, would that be the preferable choice?
not for the long run, not for what I'm really trying to accomplish now.
No? Okay. Just checking. Because that is an option.
What is an option?
You doing other things that are good for you and still eating the food that you want until after the wedding.
Yeah, it is an option. Um, I don't know where we're at now. I'm kind of just I'm in indecisive land right now. Your most hated place.
Yeah. Because when you don't have to choose, you can just be like, oh, things just happen to me. It's really convenient. So why would you want to continue eating everything in sight until the wedding?
This is familiar. It's easy. It's fun. It's comfortable. Zero work, zero effort. Not uncomfortable. And those are the big ones. Yeah.
Is it fun?
It is fun for a little bit, but it's not very much worth it.
Okay.
But it is very fun. Yeah. It's definitely fun. Otherwise,
Right.
I wouldn't be struggling to do this. If this was
Well,
if
not,
this was a if this was a behavior that wasn't enjoyable, then I would have
yeah.
no problem dropping it.
So, like, do we want to do fun, comfortable, zero effort? Or do we want to start becoming that person that you're working towards becoming?
That's the problem. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do this week.
Why not?
There's that excuse once again popping right up saying, well, you can do both. You can do what you want this week, and then you can start right back up when you get back. What's another week? You've already done this for most likely a decade and a half. What's one more week going to do?
Yeah, you
So
can do that. But
and
why are you not making that decision?
because I feel like I shouldn't make that decision.
According to whom?
According to the fact that I've paid good money to try to kick this habit, and I shouldn't be doing the very thing that I'm trying to not do.
Well, that's a good excuse.
There's always a right thing and a wrong thing to do, and I should do the right thing. That's another thing that's popping in my head. I should do the right thing for the right thing's sake.
What if
And I
there
know
is no right and no wrong?
there is though,
No.
unless you're doing a hypothetical. There is a
Yeah.
right and a wrong because I know my version of right or wrong because of what I'm. It's right. Doing the right thing in this situation is right for me because my life's mission is to transcend these problems. So there is a clear right and wrong in this situation. But
What if we could just call it like helpful decisions, helpful behaviors that are helping you move towards where you want to go, and unhelpful ones, rather than right and wrong? Because I think there's a difference. It's like whatever it is, like whatever behavior it is, that's kind of neutral. But the result of you engaging in that behavior will tell you whether that is something that is helpful or unhelpful.
Right. I mean, yeah, I mean, right and wrong is kind of just cut and dry, black and white, and it seems like. But yeah,
Yeah,
the
because
helpful and
you
healthy
keep
thing.
judging yourself for that. Like, I should be doing it. I should be doing the
Yeah.
right thing. And I mean, you could say I should be doing things that help me get there. But it's easier to say I want to do things that will help me get to where I want to be. Or like, I don't want to do anything to get to where I want to be until the what date is it after the wedding?
I'll be back on Saturday.
Okay, until the 7th.
Yeah, that's the quandary.
It's not a quandary. It's just a decision. Do you want to move forward now, or do you want to move forward later? Like, do you want to be stuck for a little bit longer and then move forward? Or do you want to continue working on that? Take a little break for a day and then continue again.
What do you mean take a little break for a day?
You'll have a wedding feast, if you like.
Well, there's two separate occasions. There's the rehearsal dinner, and then there's the wedding. So it's two occasions where it's going to
Okay.
be buku food.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I feel guilty, but I just want to eat whatever I want on those days.
And we can decide that we're going to do that and not feel guilty about it. You've been
And
planning for this wedding for a while. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I always got the impression that you were going to eat things at that wedding.
I think the the months prior to, I was thinking I wasn't going to, but at the time it was so far away, I didn't even think it was really going to happen. Part of me thought that I might just, I don't know, it hasn't really felt like it was going to be real until like the past week because it's just gotten closer and closer. So honestly, I really hadn't truly planned much into it at all. My only plan going into it was that I didn't want to consume any alcohol or any pot or any weed. Those were the two big things. That was just going to be like my big, because I've been sober from that stuff for like a year and some change now. So I didn't want to, and these are people that I used to drink with and do those things with. So I didn't want to, that was only the real big thing that I was considering and talking and really driving in my brain. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just do what I want on those days and just feel cravings between now and then.
Is that your decision?
Yeah, that's my decision.
And how do you feel about that decision?
I feel fine. The immediate thought that comes to my head is that, well, that's what you say. That's what you said whenever you were going to do something for Christmas too, and you believe that. And my mind's immediately saying, well, all the times in between, and right, or all the times in between that you're still there after and before those occasions, while you're there, you'll probably blow it. And that's what my mind's saying right now.
That's what my mind said after I ate the ice cream. An hour after eating the ice cream was like, I didn't like the ice cream and I know it. And my mind was like, well, are you really sure about that? I think you should just test it again because, ice cream is supposed to be nice. So you're probably wrong. You're probably lying to yourself. You should go and have a little bit of ice cream. It's still in the freezer. Just do it. That's what brains do. Like, your brain is 100% going to offer you those thoughts that you just told me. but you don't have to listen to them. You're like, yep, I hear you. I knew that you were going to do this, but I'm going to practice now. I'm going to practice this skill to move me forward. Then I'm going to go to the wedding and we're going to eat things twice. And then I'm going to go back to it again.
Right. That's an easy enough plan.
It's super simple. And your brain is going to try to make all sorts of drama about it. Well, just look how it went over Christmas. Like, yep. Bring it all. Bring all the bullshit. I'm expecting it. We don't want to be surprised by it. We want to know that, worst case, your brain is going to bombard you with these thoughts for 2 days. Can we handle that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this training now for the better part of 2 months and some change, and I just have to get myself back in that mindset. Just give me a second. My boss is calling me. I'm so sorry.
Sure. Perfect opportunity for me to read the chat because there has been a lot of chatting going on. So, Happy New Year, Jim. Patricia says, it was very difficult to come to terms with the fact that I really did want to abuse myself that way. What was that? Oh, you had a similar experience. Yeah, the brain definitely does crazy shit. I also think messing up, we need to forgive ourselves and get back on the wagon. I fell off and the feeling crappy is the biggest motivator. As my muscle memory jumps in, I felt great the last 6 months. It's a good reminder, for sure. Let's see. The thing that keeps... Okay, here we go.
Sorry about
You're
that.
back. It's okay, I was reading comments, but I'll stop reading comments and get back to you. Okay, so your brain is going to bombard you with all the thoughts for the next 2 days.
It's 100% what's going to happen. It's going to bombard me with thoughts for the rest of the day. It's going to bombard me with thoughts at work tonight. It's going to, I mean, it's going to be, because it still feels like there's a bunch of drama in my head right now. So it's probably just going to be continuous from here on out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how are we going to handle that?
It's just realizing that it's not real. All these things that are coming to me, all these things are not, they're just survival mechanisms from my primitive brain. Just have to realize that it's a mechanism and there's no truth to it. It's just literally just like reflexive things that my brain does because whatever designed us didn't, or if it was just random, it's just a random luck of a shitty draw that our brain works this way, and I have to deal with it. So I just have to be more discerning and understand that it's just chatter. It doesn't mean anything, even if I have a feeling that comes along with it, that's just part of the scheme as well. And I just have to outsmart myself. That's what I have to do.
Yeah. Or that's what you want to do.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of important that you get the wording right for yourself in your brain. Like, I want to do this. Because why?
Because I've invested time and money into this initiative, and even if and something that just popped in my brain is that, and it's just going back to old thinking patterns of how I'm approaching this um, approaching this process of the black and white. If I'm not 100% abstaining from the behavior, then I'm failing. So this whole middle ground stuff where I get to still do certain things on certain days, but everything else is, but making a plan around it to still do the cravings on every other part of it. And once I get back, just being back to normal, my brain is very much against that because of my one, it just wants to do whatever it wants to do, which is just all the shitty behavior. Two, my entire life of actually trying to deal with um, these problems has been the all or nothing approach. So it's like a good part of my brain, I won't say good, it all just is what it is, but the part of my brain that I've actually tried to develop to actually deal with these problems, and the part of my brain that's always just trying to do what it wants to do, and the whatever, those are working together. So it's just going against a lot of subconscious programming, so it's difficult, but I really don't remember what I was talking about, so here we are.
I was asking why you actually want to deal with all those bullshit thoughts that are going to come up the next couple of days and still do
Wow.
it.
So why was I saying all that stuff then? That's weird. Yeah, I
That's how
don't
the
see how
brain
that.
works.
I have no idea how any of that ties into what you asked. Then that's weird. But anyway,
Well,
it's
you said
fine.
I've invested a lot of time and money into this,
Oh, so that
but
was the
it's
why.
hard because
Okay. So
that's
just
what the brain does.
yeah. So here we are. Yeah, we're live action dealing with what I'm
Mm.
going to deal with. Yeah, I've invested a lot of money and time into this, and
But that doesn't really matter. Like now you've just given me the surface level why. What is your big reason? Do you remind yourself of that?
the past few weeks, no, or the past week, no, not absolutely not. It hasn't
Mm.
come across my mind one time.
Yeah.
Um, because if I don't actually deal with this and step up to the plate, and um, I'm just going to be a stagnant, everyday, normal, of the masses type person stuck in their little bullshit loop, never evolving. And we all know what happens to water, for example, that stays stagnant. It just gets worse, and it's nasty, and it just decays. And so
And mosquitoes.
all that lovely stuff. So
Yeah, I think we talked about this before, but now you're like, yeah, because I want to run away from something. But what is it
yeah,
that you're running towards that you actually want?
yeah, it's my true self, or at least a self that I want to develop, and a self that is able to deal with emotions and face just about anything. Um, so it's the paradox is that I'm running away from that. That's what I'm trying to run away from.
Yes.
But yes, that is the ultimate goal. So the only way to actually do that is to be able to face that.
And not just face it, run towards it.
Yeah,
Like,
not
bring
timidly look
on
at
all the
it, but just
bullshit.
yeah,
I want to feel
100%.
it because then I'm becoming who I really want to be. And you keep saying it to me. I want to be able to feel any emotions and still like operate and do all the things. And I want to be bulletproof. The only way that you're going to get there is actually to run towards it, to seek out all the uncomfortable experiences. Like when you go into the gas station, it's like, hell yes, I'm going to the gas station. I'm going to feel rotten, and that's fine. This is what I need to or want to actually face because that will decondition your brain from having this panic reaction. It would just get used to it. And the same thing with all these bullshit thoughts that you're going to get over the next 2 days is like, okay, the brain's going to offer me that. And I'm going to be able to choose whatever thoughts I want to have in that moment.
Yeah.
So, what thoughts can you choose in that moment other than yeah, this is just how the brain is working. It's a survival mechanism. What other thoughts could you choose there?
Well, my friend has given me a phrase that has it's a very, very truthful and interesting phrase. Is that every moment has a reason, and every moment has an opportunity.
Hmm.
Um, and so I can look at it like, well, on my personal journey, there's a reason I'm experiencing this moment. And right now, this moment is an opportunity for me to either operate operate in fear or operate in love. And fear would be to run away from that true self, and operating in love would be to truly love myself and have true respect for myself, which I believe having true love for myself and true respect for myself would be to run towards what I'm running away from, because the opposite is the fear, and that's the complete opposite of what I want to do with my life. So when these things come up, I can just be excited about it and say, hey, there's a big reason that this is happening. This is not trivial, and there's a big opportunity for me right now. I'm a big believer in that the universe is bringing you what you need, depending on what you're wanting to do in life. And these little bullshit thoughts, each and every one of them, they can be a lot bigger than I'm treating them. They can, because right now I've been just treating them as they're just the master of my life, and I just have to be subject to them. But they can be extremely huge opportunities for me to grow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just have to look at each, and I have to understand that probably thousands of them are going to come this week. So, those are thousands of opportunities for me to operate in love for myself and use it and see the reason for it, which is my personal reason. I'm the only one that experiences these things for me. Obviously, people experience these things, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I'm the only one that gets to see what's happening in my brain. Bar some random extraterrestrials with telekinesis. Who knows? But as far as I know, between our species, I'm the only one that can experience this. So I have the decision to how I can respond to um, these instances, these events. So another long-winded answer, but I do understand why I responded this time.
Yeah.
I actually could see why. So yeah.
But I think you have a very wise friend.
Yes.
And it's a very, very good and useful way of thinking. And I think I go about my life mostly thinking very similarly to that. Whenever something happens, I may not always be able to see it as an opportunity, but I very quickly go to acceptance. Like, this is just what the world is. Now it's up to me how I want to experience the world, rather than becoming the victim. I'm never the victim. So every craving is just something that is happening in the world. This is your opportunity to choose what you want to do and how you want your life to kind of which path you want to walk down following that experience.
All right.
Like, this path leads to future Jarod that I want to be, and the other path is just going back.
Yeah, stumbling around in the darkness, just running into walls. Whereas the other path, there's a pretty clear trajectory. It's not super clear, but at least it has a direction. The other path is simply just running around in circles and feeling guilty and all kinds of shitty drama.
Yeah. And I mean, that's exactly why you are here. You're not here because you invested time and money in being here. You're here because you actually want to change.
Right.
You want something. You want to be that person who's bulletproof, who can feel your emotions, and who can help other people do it. It's freaking awesome. There's nothing better than feeling like you can help other people. And I think you have that in you. I mean, that's in your head. You're like, I really want to help others. Because that's also something that comes up. Like, I want to master this and I want to help others.
Mm-hmm.
So what would it feel like if you could do it? Like when you are where I am, where you are a person who helps other people and you just feel like cravings are not a problem anymore. What do you think that would feel like?
I imagine it would be a lot simpler. I imagine that um, being that type of person, having conquered the stupid drama in your head, that you could just live life a little bit more freely. And also just knowing that you're helping other people who are struggling with the same things that you have before, giving them that strategy and having the confidence to be able to do so. Not being like a charlatan who's just trying to, use people and exploit them, but truly being someone that's mastered something that somebody else is trying to master, and you're actually giving somebody the tools and seeing them progress through their own bullshit, would feel extremely fulfilling, probably more fulfilling than 98.9% of everything I've done in my life. And I think finally being able to feel something like that would propel me to be motivated to do even greater things, or to just help as many as I possibly could. Because at the end of the day, I mean, helping people helps you as well. It's kind of a selfish thing, but it's a good type of
Yeah?
selfish. I mean, because everybody, I mean, we're all, I don't know, we're everybody should be their top priority, but you can be your top priority in a very good way by helping
Of course.
others.
I mean, I get a huge dopamine hit whenever I see one of my clients, like in the private community that we have, or anywhere else, if they just say like, "Oh my God, this program is really helping me so much," and it's not just about the cravings, it's about this, and I managed to do this in my life, and I'm like, my brain is just lighting up. Like I feel so freaking good because they succeed with
Right.
something that I created. And it's not an ego thing. It's just like that feels like that is why the reason why I'm doing it. And this is working. This works for other people as well. And it's just like, yes. So there are other ways that my brain can get that dopamine hit. And I'm getting that from helping people when I see the progress, or, sometimes when they just like, even when people are crying on a call with me because they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize I could feel this good.
Yeah.
My brain is just lighting up. Like, this is what it's about for me. And I've gone from like getting my dopamine hit from helping people, or to helping people, rather than getting it from food or something else, and then feeling like shit after that. Now I just feel good. And I'm not saying that I feel good 100% of the time, because that's not really possible. But it's like I get the dopamine hit, and then I have like a base level of feeling a fulfillment throughout my life.
Right.
So
Because I
what
think a
if you
lot of
could
it's,
do this?
I mean, I can do it. It's not a matter of if. Um, it's just a matter of doing it, simply. Just continuing, just get back on the horse after this obstacle
Yeah,
or
and remind
whatever.
yourself about it
Right.
constantly. You're like, well, I haven't thought about that since, over a week ago. And of
Right.
course, if you then connect with that and you're like, yeah, I really have to do this because I've invested time and money in this. It's like,
Yeah, surface layer.
yeah. So if you can go to, okay, it feels like shit, but actually, when I learn how to feel like shit, when I can take this experience and I can help other people through this as well, it's gonna be freaking worth it.
I think you feel really. I think another reason that would feel so good is because it's delayed gratification. Like you didn't get to where you are, and you didn't get to access these amazing dopamine hits
Nope.
until you yourself mastered yourself, and then spent time and effort and put time into developing this program, editing stuff. Like you had to do a lot of shit to be able to have
And I've
access to
quit
this deeper fulfillment.
several times. I'm like,
Right.
I burnt myself out in the process and I didn't stop. You just had a week or 10 days, but we don't quit. Like, that's just what it is. That's happened, but you're not going to stop. Back on the horse with the motivation, with the connection to who you want to be and why that is so important to you. Like, I can keep eating like this and, be employed and do all of these things. And, it doesn't have to be a bad life, but like what's over there, you're like, I really want to see what that is like. That would be amazing if I could do that. I'm not freaking done. And I'm hoping that you're not going to be done when you're where I am. Like, there's so many more places I can go, so much more I can do. And as you said, once you start seeing that this is possible, it kind of like spurs you on to wanting more.
Right. And that's the true momentum.
Yeah. And knowing that when you actually use your brain in the way that you want to use your brain, you can create pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's the unawareness and indecision that is killing you. But when you make decisions and it comes from awareness, that's when you can start moving.
Yeah, stop being a victim. Like I'm subject to my mind and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, here comes another thought. My slave master is beckoning me. I must call. I must answer the call. Blah blah blah, and all that dumb shit. Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm the one that's supposed to be the master. That's just how it really is. That's how reality works. I'm the
Yeah.
one that's supposed to be. I'm the one that's in control of all this.
Yeah. So you just need to keep reminding yourself of that because it's a learning process. You're not used to thinking that you are actually in power here. You just keep reminding yourself every time you feel like, okay, there's an urge to eat or do whatever, just like pause for a second. Like, hey, I can choose here. And I'm going to choose this because I really want to feel that feeling that I'm going to have when I can just do this and help other people, when I have learned how to master all of this.
All right. And I feel like I've been trying to develop ways to be able to generate more income and stuff, but it's always in the background because I'm still always dealing with this addiction stuff, and these things that I keep doing keep taking mental energy away. So I feel like once I can really just free myself of this, then I can allow myself more space to continue to evolve. And so yeah, this issue, the food and everything else, just addiction in general, has just really been holding me up.
For sure. And as long as you are the victim, you're not going to be able to generate all of that money either. You're like, oh, well, shit happened. Of course, I'm not going to make any money. Rather than,
Right.
okay, I have decisions to make. I can try shit out and see what works, whatever. I'm in control here, no matter what is happening in the world. I can do something. With that mindset, you're going to start generating some money. But right now, it's like, oh my God, oh, I may as well just continue eating because it's fun and it's comfortable and there's no effort. that's never going to generate money. It's never going to generate the results that you want with regards to your body composition or get you to where you want to be.
Right.
So what are you going to tell yourself? Oh, Jarod, come on. Last time that didn't go so well. You know what happened over Christmas? You may as well just continue for 2 days now.
I just take a second and remind myself what's really happening and look at it as an opportunity, look at it as a challenge, and just run at it full force and just stick to my guns.
It's just like going to the gym. It's not comfortable, but doing it is what's going to generate the results. I'm going to feel this uncomfortableness. I'm going to fucking feel it. And that's going to teach me something. This is an opportunity. And you're probably going to feel good after because you really did it. So go 100%. We don't kind of half-assed feel it. We're just really going to feel it.
Yeah, I think it's the awareness aspect of it. If I can pull off remaining aware of tapping into more of that observer effect, that's going to be something that's very helpful as well. Just not getting caught up in it like I typically do.
So do you still take notes?
Not in the past week. No, I haven't taken one.
But before that you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just get back into that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely helping a lot, so.
I know. I know. So yeah, now we got your brain out of the I want to run away from things. I just want to hide until after the wedding.
Right.
How do you feel about that right now?
Definitely feel a little bit more in control about it.
Just a little bit?
Well, a little bit's a lot. From going from no control to a little bit, but I probably just said that too quickly. No, I feel like truly, I think I just spoke quickly there, but I truly feel like I'm in a different mindset now, which is a huge place to be. So, yeah, I just need to put on my scientist hat, whatever that looks like, and just get back to being the observer. And now that I have that mindset, I feel like it's going to be a lot easier and kind of have that motivation again. So
Yeah. So the best thing for you to do, I think, is just get into the habit of reminding yourself of your big reason every time you have a craving. Just get that happening as well.
yeah,
I think when you lose touch with that, it's really difficult for you to continue doing what you're doing.
yeah, and not just simply. I think I needed not just say my big why, but then go down that thought path of. I think I just need to try to explore the big why a little bit longer, because the more I attach to that big why, the greater hold it'll have in my brain. So
Yeah.
I just need to get out of the habit of being like, okay, I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to get in touch with my true self and then move on, but just try to take some time to just be there with that why so it can actually have a chance to take root in me. Make that a familiarity.
Perfect. And then one more thing I just want to bring up quickly. So you had two opportunities where you're just going to eat whatever is on the menu that you want. We're good with that. What about the meals in between? Like breakfast, maybe, whatever?
I suppose that I would suggest that we go to the grocery store or something and I just get some basic stuff to cook with, just like some eggs and some ground beef or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. As long as you're clear on that, because we don't want to be confused when it's breakfast time and there are chocolate croissants in front of you and you're like, there's nothing else. You already have a plan. You're like,
Right.
yep, I'm gonna eat some eggs or ground beef or whatever.
Yeah, and I could probably text them ahead of time before I even get there. Be like, hey, can we go to the grocery store or something so I can, I just want to pick
Yep,
up some basics and yeah,
perfect.
just go from there.
Yep, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to move the time again this week, but I will put the scheduling up very soon so that you guys can find us on the right day and the right time, whenever that's going to be next week. So thank you everyone for watching today, and we shall see you when we see you.